Anger is a powerful emotion that, if left unchecked, can dominate our lives and cloud our judgment. From a Stoic perspective, anger is seen as one of the most destructive and irrational emotions a person can experience. Stoicism, a philosophy rooted in self-control and rationality, offers timeless wisdom on how to manage and ultimately remove anger from our lives. The Stoics believed that by understanding the nature of anger and cultivating an attitude of indifference toward things outside our control, we can live more peaceful and fulfilling lives. The nature of anger. At its core, anger is a response to perceived injustice or frustration. It arises when our expectations clash with reality, when people do not behave as we think they should, or when events do not unfold according to our desires. However, the Stoics remind us that it is not the events themselves that cause anger, but our judgments about them. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus famously said, "It is not events that disturb people, it is their judgments concerning them." This insight is crucial because it shifts the responsibility for anger from external circumstances to our internal responses. By changing our judgments and perceptions, we can control and even eliminate anger. The destructiveness of anger. Anger is often justified as a natural and necessary response to wrongdoing. However, the Stoics argue that anger is not only unnecessary, but also harmful. Seneca, a prominent Stoic philosopher, wrote extensively on the dangers of anger. He likened it to a form of temporary madness that distorts our thinking and leads us to actions we later regret. When we act in anger, we are more likely to make irrational decisions, harm our relationships, and damage our reputation. Moreover, anger rarely achieves its intended outcome. It may provide a temporary sense of satisfaction or release, but it ultimately leaves us feeling empty and unfulfilled. The Stoic approach to removing anger. 1. Understand what is within your control. One of the fundamental tenets of Stoicism is the distinction between what is within our control and what is not. Our thoughts, judgments, and actions are within our control. The actions of others and external events are not. By focusing on what we can control, our own responses, we can avoid the frustration that leads to anger. 2. Practice negative visualization. The Stoics advocated for a practice known as premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils. This involves mentally preparing for potential challenges or setbacks before they occur. By imagining the worst-case scenario, we can reduce the emotional impact of unexpected events and approach them with calmness and equanimity. 3. Reframe your perception. Anger often stems from unrealistic expectations or rigid thinking. The Stoics encourage us to reframe our perceptions by adopting a more flexible and accepting attitude toward life. Instead of seeing obstacles as personal affronts, we can view them as opportunities for growth and learning. 4. Cultivate compassion and understanding. The Stoics recognized that anger is often directed at others. To counteract this, they advised cultivating compassion and understanding. Recognize that people make mistakes and that their actions are often driven by ignorance or misguided intentions. By empathizing with others, we can reduce our own anger and respond with patience and kindness. 5. Practice mindfulness and self-reflection. Mindfulness allows us to observe our thoughts and emotions without being consumed by them. By regularly practicing mindfulness, we can become more aware of the triggers that lead to anger and develop the ability to pause and choose a different response. Self-reflection, a key Stoic practice, helps us identify patterns of thought that contribute to anger and provides an opportunity to consciously change them. Conclusion. Removing anger from your life is not about suppressing emotions or pretending that injustices don't matter. Instead, it's about cultivating a mindset that prioritizes inner peace over emotional reactivity. The Stoics teach us that anger is a choice, and by choosing a different perspective, one rooted in rationality, compassion, and acceptance, we can free ourselves from its grip. In the end, removing anger is a path to greater freedom and tranquility. It allows us to navigate life's challenges with grace and wisdom, maintaining our integrity and well-being regardless of the external circumstances. By embracing the Stoic approach to anger, we can achieve a life that is not only more peaceful, but also more meaningful.